What's up YouTube, Egrka here, bringing you an action figure review, this time of the Neca God of War 2018 Kratos. This figure is amazing. The amount of detail, the realism, the articulation, the paint application, everything is great, and Neca really hit it out of the ballpark on this one. It is just really cool. The weight of the figure, the size of it, it towers over all other Neca figures in the standard 7-inch scale. I mean, it is amazing. Just this brief turnaround that we're getting here, you can see that this figure is quality. And it's amazing that we got this figure before the game's release. As this video is coming out, it is January, and it's 3 months before God of War comes out on PS4, which really hypes the release even more. We don't have to wait a long time to get the figure after the game comes out. We are ready. So without further ado, let's get into this review. Alright, let's take a quick look at the full figure here standing. You can see that he is pretty jacked, very tall. I love the color palette on this, you know, everything is in unison. The lightest thing is his skin, his beard is the same color as the pants, and this chest piece here, and his gauntlets, and the same red that's used in his stripe, you know, his iconic stripe, is the same red that's used in the horn, kind of in the wood here, and even in these little red tassels that we see that are sort of remnants of his old outfit. We don't know the full story yet, and I guess it's better that way because it's a lot of mystery, but we get to analyze how cool the character is and these little parts of his outfit that may have traces of his past in it. So let's take a closer look here at the amount of detail. You can see he has very strong features. The contrast that is made from the eyebrow shape here. He is mean. His eyes are clean. They have a nice yellow kind of pupil color to it. The beard is very nicely done with traces of white, gray hairs in there, and the sculpt on the beard is fantastic. There's a lot of realism in this face here. If you have the previous Kratos figure, it was more on the cartoony, more stylized side. And this one goes for a bit more realism, I guess, because it reflects the kind of style of the new game. You know, everything looks really amazing. What they can do with graphics now is out of this world. Let's take a look at the chest here. There is no ab crunch, which personally I'm happy about. I think the ab crunch articulation usually takes away from the realism of the figure, and I'd rather take a bit more realism than, you know, a figure looking too action figure-y, for, you know, the lack of a better word. The anatomy looks really good. The muscles, everything is really toned. He is solid. Let's take a look at the fur back here. You can just see they're really paying attention to textures here in, you know, the different kinds of pelts and leathers. Look at this horn. I mean, that is awesome. Has a nice, you know, shiny look to it. Really has that texture here. The armor. I mean, look at the textures here on this. I mean, what they can fit in such a small sculpt is amazing. This has to be one of Neca's best figures in terms of balancing articulation with realism and paint application. Pretty awesome, right? Sometimes you just gotta let the visuals speak for themselves. Let's explore the articulation a bit here. The head is on a really nice ball joint here. See, we have a lot of motion. The arms can go out and in, as well as fully rotate. You can rotate at the upper bicep here. We have a double jointed elbow to really get those nice poses there. And the wrist is also ball jointed, which means it can rotate as well as have a full 360 motion there. Now, like I said, there isn't any ab crunch, but there is a ball joint here at the very bottom of the torso to still kind of get that motion of him crunching forward or, standing tall. The legs can go out, in, forward, and back. We have a bit of hindrance from this kilt here. We have a double jointed knee. The feet can move down and up. We have toe articulation, and they can swivel left and right kind of at an angle. My one problem with this figure is that there is no rotation at the knee to move the whole leg left or right, to point the toes in a different direction. So sometimes his feet can only face forward, if you can understand. Alright, it's accessory time, and we have this really cool axe that he has here. Very, very cool. There's so much detail in the design of the actual blade here. You can see there are carvings in the wood. Very nicely painted as well. Also at the bottom here we have another carving, what looks like some sort of dragon. I guess we'll know once we actually play the game. We have a small blade here, very small, but you can see it still has the detail of some kind of wrapping going around the handle, and there's little carvings in the blade itself, those 3 carvings. Let's take a look at the bottom of the grip there. And it's a strong plastic too, and this can be actually put on the figure for storage. Next we have this awesome shield here, really awesome pattern on it. Very clean paint application. We have some sort of washes of black on it to show some wear and tear. And it's slightly asymmetrical. On the left side over here, that design is smaller than this side, which is cool. The inside is even cooler with the red gloss here. Very strong plastic. And if you see this peg, this inserts into Kratos' left arm here. On this gauntlet right here, this part comes out. It's a little tricky because it's small. Right there, there it is, it came out. I guess if you use gravity to your advantage, it'll help a bit. And this little peg here will then insert into that opening. And boom, it is in there pretty strong. You can see it's not coming out at all. And you can see the sheath here for the smaller blade. It's a little tricky because he has so much around him, but goes right in there. And of course his axe tomahawk thing goes in the other hand. For a size comparison, you can see that the new Kratos is just slightly taller than the God of War 3 Kratos that's on the right here. Just comparing them, you can see the difference in the skin tone, the difference in the color of red. They're both fantastic figures, but you can also see that the one on the right here is a bit more stylized. You can see, you know, the anatomy and the whole ab area, you know, cuts in a bit. I love the animated expression though, but I already reviewed this figure. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to. So yeah, the new Kratos is taller, and he is a bit more realistic. And to compare him to the standard 7-inch human figure from Neca, you can see how much taller he is. This Blade Runner Officer K, you know, goes right up to, you know, the bottom of his head, basically. So he is very tall. You could even see in, you know, how wide his shoulder is compared to, you know, Officer K. It's really, really amazing what they were able to do with this figure. And they're both standing on the same level base, so there's no cheating going on. Overall, this is an incredible figure. He will run you around $21.99 retail price if you check Toys R Us or your local comic book shops. You shouldn't be paying over $25 for this guy at all. He is not in the ultimate range. He doesn't come with more than one head. He does have amazing accessories, but not that much to constitute it for paying $25 or above. So $20 to $22 is a good range for this guy. He is taller. It's a lot of figure for the price, and it is just an amazing piece to have in your collection, especially, of course, if you're a God of War fan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you want to see anything else, feel free to check out my old Kratos review, even the one from the original God of War 2 line I have a review of. So I'll see you guys later, and until then, we'll be patiently waiting for God of War on PS4 on April 20th. See you guys later.